Good morning, y'all. Welcome back to Harmon Homestead. So check out what I'm doing today. Look at the spring garden. So I always put fertilizer to my plants, but this year I did not get any. It was just happenstance. Now I planted all this with triple 13, 13-13-13. That's why it looks as good as it does. However, I usually will put fertilizer to this once a week. That's what I did last summer. That's why we had a mammoth garden. I forgot water-soluble fertilizer yesterday when I was in town. So we have a rainstorm coming in. It is, you can see it's just a pour. They're saying 4 inches of rain, a huge thunderstorm line, and rain for hours all day and into the night behind this. So this is what I did. Don't do this until I can prove that it works for your garden, but this is what I did. So I showed you raking up under my chicken boxes. That manure is composted on the ground. It's hard, it's dry. It has been there a long time, okay? So I have taken that in shovelfuls and put it beside and in between my plants, especially my cabbage. Cabbage are heavy feeders. Now, I did this with my corn 2 years ago. Go back, or 2 or 3 years ago, go back and look at my videos where I side dressed my corn. Now, I used chicken manure for part of it. It worked beautifully. I used ammonium nitrate for the other part. It did beautifully. To me, personally, the corn that had the chicken manure did the best. Now, I buried it, though. That's the thing. And we had rain behind it. This I did not bury. It's in light amounts, and I put it beside everything. The only thing that I steered away from was my root crops. But over here, that's radishes that I still need to thin out. Over here where I've got Marvel of Four Seasons head lettuce, I put it in that trench all beside it. And that trench is lower than the radishes. They're kind of built up on a hill. That's how I plant everything. But I mainly went for the cabbages here. Sometimes it fell out a little bit more off the shovel than I intended, but that's okay. We're getting at least 4 inches of rain behind this. That's the whole point. Do not do this unless you are getting rain. A lot of people will tell you this is going to burn up your plants. I don't know. I think it will be fine, okay? You can tell I kind of just did little scant amounts. I think it will be okay. But I put it away from the roots, and all of my plants are built up on a hill. That's how I plant. That way, when I fertilize, I go beside it, away from the roots. Don't put it down in the center. But that's what I did, guys. Now, some of this looks like pure compost, and I was raking up shavings. I think it will be totally fine. Some of it is pure manure. So we're going to see. I even put a little bit there, put some there, then beside. Got some geese flying over here. Let's see if I can catch them. Look at that. We've got a pond behind us. So that's what I'm doing. I don't know if this will work. This may kill off everything I've got. Now over here, with my black-seeded Simpson, put a little bit of fertilizer all down beside it, chicken manure. A little bit over there, just a scant amount. Now on this, the other bed that's doing so great, I put a little on a few plants. In case it kills off everything, I wanted to leave that bed alone, and it's doing so well anyways. I put a little bit beside my onions. If I was getting ready to harvest these, I wouldn't do that, okay? But I did because it's going to be a long time before these are ready. Beside this lettuce, I put a good bit, a very good bit. We shall see. This is an experiment on free fertilizer, but I don't know. I may have just killed my plants. I have no clue. English peas, they don't like a lot of nitrogen, but I went between them and put this chicken manure. This is all dried. It's not fresh. It's dried. It's hard as a rock. So I feel like a lot of the nutrients are gone anyways. The problem is the ammonia in this chicken manure. So I just side dressed everything the best I could. Put a little bit up here. And you've got to realize that's why I'm putting it so far away from these plants. Peas don't care for a lot of nitrogen, but I'm trying to amend the soil and give it a boost. Because look at this, that's my tall telephone pea. He's grown since 2 days ago when I filmed it last. They are Cadillacing. Here I had a lot dump out, but I've got all these plants, probably 20 pea plants around that. It should disperse. We shall see. So if you've got chicken coops, this may be an option. Right there I got thick on the manure. I didn't do it on purpose. It was just kind of hard dispersing this. This may be a way to fertilize. A lot of people and a lot of old timers will say, don't do this. Let me try it first. If it's going to kill somebody's garden, let it be mine instead of yours, okay? But if it works and you've got chickens, you'll be able to do this as well. I would highly recommend building my little plants in mounds and planting them that way. Because see, just like the corn I hill up and then I side dress down below. The only difference is I cover it up when I side dress my corn. That's the only difference. That's how I've been taught. That's the good luck I've had with it. That's what we're doing. I got kind of heavy there. That is broccoli. Broccoli's a heavy feeder as well, but these cabbages need to come on. Some are doing better than others. This is my, that's my flat Dutch. And they're looking beautiful, but they need a little extra. Now, the only thing I will tell you is at the top, I went a little bit heavier in this garden. This garden is on a slant. Everything runs down to the bottom. I did not side dress those peas. They are going to catch, and you notice I didn't side dress those plants either down there. All this is going to catch what's up top when it runs down. So I held off. Now let me show you this other garden and show you how it's doing. But that's what we did, okay? A lot of people will say, don't use chicken manure. They're worried about the stuff in it or whatever. I like to use it, okay? And I can promise you it works for corn to side dress as long as you bury it. So a few little plants here, my cabbage, that's gonna be the Dutch as well, I believe, or either early golden acre. I put a little bit, now see, you don't want it on the leaves. I got it on the leaves, I need to get it off, flick it off. You don't want that on your plant. The main thing is you don't want it in the center, okay? Any kind of fertilizer, you don't want it in the center. I put it around it. This one's terrible. I had nothing to lose, put a good bit. Everything else, I stayed away from here. I just experimented with a few to see. These cabbages are doing a whole lot better than the other side as far as growth. So that's what we've got. I steered away from the radishes again, root crop. Here's our broccoli. It's just doing better by the day. It looks gorgeous. Gorgeous. No signs of pests that I can see. I left my kale alone. I did not side dress my kale. And you can see English peas all behind there. So that's what we're doing. I'm going to see if this works. Again, I kind of steered away from this garden because it had a lot of manure this past fall. And this soil is so loose, I know it's going to hit these plants quickly, whatever I put on beside it. So I did a few as an experiment. Over here, it's going to be harder for these plants to absorb this because the soil is so compact in this topsoil. I beg of you, do not start a topsoil garden if you have the means to build a raised bed like our poor man's raised bed where you're using nothing but that. Just beautiful compost. Please don't do this because this is what it'll turn into. It's hard, it's rocky, it's compact. If you're getting topsoil from a clay area, and most of us live where it's clay unless you have sand. We're in central Alabama, everything is clay, okay? So, I don't know, I may have taken that lettuce out right there. I got pretty heavy with it, but most of it was, I mean, look at it, it's composted. It's just dark, beautiful dirt. That's what it turns into over time. So you're doing nothing but helping your bed. You definitely can do this in the fall. We put chicken manure in here in the fall. Problem is the ammonia is gone. I need the ammonium nitrate. I need the ammonia from the chicken manure to get these plants up and going. I need that boost, that quick hit. It's gonna hit that a lot harder in that bed than it is this one. So I was more liberal with this. I may have killed all my plants, I don't know. But we shall see. But here's our early spring garden. The only thing I have not planted this year, and I still may go back in my other poor man's raised bed I showed y'all that I built this spring. I may plant carrots. That's the only thing I did not plant. But I will say this has been the best I have ever grown brassicas. By far, the best. And you don't need a lot of room, guys. You really don't. All these cabbages are packed tight, and I've got lettuce in between. Lettuce is going to be cut. Radishes are going to be pulled. Let them grow, okay? If you pack plants like I do very closely, guys, you're going to have to amend the soil. All these plants are fighting for nutrients. You're going to have to, see, there's beets in between here. Little beet seedlings. You're going to have to, the whole row. You're going to have to put something supplemental because these plants will drain the soil of the nutrients quickly. You've got to fertilize. You've got to. All right, so I will keep y'all posted. Again, the only reason I did this is because we're going to get 4 to 6 inches of rain. I mean, flood levels. I wouldn't do this if it was dry. Do not do this if you're not expecting rain or expecting, I would say, a natural heavy downpour. I wouldn't do this with a garden hose at all. All right, guys, so I will keep y'all posted and let you know if I have killed my plants. Fingers crossed I haven't. I think it'll work. My gut told me to do it this morning. We'll see how it turns out. See you guys next time on Homestead.